it's time to play a head coaching availability bracket. We're going to take some of the head coaching jobs that we believe might come available this offseason, and we're going to put them head to head to see what we think is the best coaching vacancy that might become available. Here are the teams we have facing off. Firstly, we have the Buffalo Bills. Your team, Ryan. They are going to be our 1 seed. They're getting the bye, okay? They played well. They get home field advantage. So they're getting the bye. We want to address them. The matchups, Patriots versus Commanders, Chargers versus Panthers, and Raiders versus the Bears. Let's start at the top. The New England Patriots versus the Washington Commanders. I think it's a foregone conclusion that both of these jobs will be open. New owner in Washington, they're going to want a clean slate. The Patriots, what else do we have to say about that dumpster fire? Between these two organizations, what is the better head coaching job?
Let's remind everybody that some of these we kind of know for sure that the head coaching, the vacancy is going to open up. But some of these were also just kind of implying that they would. Right now, with Sam Howell playing the good football that he's playing, and you got Brian Robinson, you got so much talent on that team. I think this is one of the situations where the talent outweighs even the division. So give me the Commanders here. I'm going to take them winning against the Patriots.
The one thing that would make me lean New England here is the owner.
Mac Jones.
Yeah, Mac Jones, obviously. No, Robert Kraft is an excellent owner. He's one of the best, and he's getting older, but Jonathan Kraft is just as good. He's in line. He's been there the whole time. I love that, and I know if I'm a coach, if I took that Patriots job, I would have the Kraft's loyalty. I would be able to lean on them. I know I would have a stable organization, a stable fan base. Whereas the Commanders, it's a new owner. It's a disgusting field and stadium. It's in Washington. We don't really have any fans. We might change the fucking name again. Who knows? So stability-wise, I actually think the Patriots are the better job here. But at the end of the day, I've got to go with what you said, and it's the roster. There isn't anyone on that New England Patriots roster that excites you other than Christian Gonzalez, the rookie corner who got hurt this year. When they were showing the matchup for the Patriots the Thursday night, they used Bill Belichick in the promo because they don't have any players. That's embarrassing. I agree with you. I think with the Commanders, Sam Howell is looking like he can be your guy, at least for a little bit, right? You might want a quarterback at some point, but you can win games with Sam Howell and Eric Bieniemy. Maybe Eric Bieniemy gets the job. But I agree with you. I think the Commanders roster gives them the edge in this game. So let's have the Commanders move on and defeat the Patriots as the better job. Next up, the Los Angeles Chargers versus the Carolina Panthers. Right now, the Panthers have an interim coach. I doubt they'll keep them because David Tepper is impatient and a ruthless owner. The Chargers, we know Brandon Staley's gone. You're wasting Justin Herbert's career. Here's the situation. This seems like an easy one. If this was a wild card game, nobody would watch it. You've got Justin Herbert with the Chargers. That's obviously the way to go. But the problem, even taking Justin Herbert out of it, Ryan, is the ownership. The Panthers owner, David Tepper, he is just so ridiculous. He's impatient. He pulls the plug too soon. They've got some good roster pieces, but I don't know about Bryce Young. I don't like his size. There's no way, if you're a coach with his options, you're going to take that over Justin Herbert. Now, the Chargers franchise seems to be cursed. Their ownership is very cheap. I don't love the situation for the Los Angeles Chargers, but at the end of the day, there's no way I could turn down Justin Herbert's talent and what that possibility at quarterback could mean. So I think the Chargers win this round easily.
I wouldn't want to touch the Panthers with a 20-foot pole.
No.
Because like you mentioned, the GM is just, he's such a knee-jerk guy.
Owner, yeah.
The owner, I'm sorry. The owner is just a knee-jerk guy. And he
knee-jerk ninja.
He'll fire somebody at the drop of a hat, right? I actually heard that Chris Tabor tied his shoes wrong and is potentially getting fired. So just watch out for that. So, but yeah, and then also, we've both said it. You would imagine what the Chargers look like without Staley and just how far they could go, because it is the roster is just it's loaded with talent.
Right. Yeah.
Loaded with talent. The defense needs some work, but you're, like you said, you're wasting Herbert's career, right? Like, of course, I would love to be the coach that comes in there. That's why I was hoping that Sean Payton would go to the Chargers because what he's done with the Broncos, midway through the season, he's starting at how good the Chargers are right now.
He wanted that job, but this goes to the owner problems. They wouldn't cut the check because they're cheap. They're absolutely cheap. So I don't know. I don't know if they're going to be able to get a good head coach that can take Herbert to the promised land, but under this scenario, we are the coach, this entity, and we're picking the best job. I don't know what Justin Herbert is. Maybe he's not a top 5 quarterback. He certainly has to take some of the blame. We can't put it all on Staley. He has not been what I think we've all wanted him to be, but without a doubt, he's better than Bryce Young. And if you go get that quarterback, that arm, you're going to have a say in the AFC, even though the division is competitive. So we agree there. The Chargers move on. Lastly, the Las Vegas Raiders versus the Chicago Bears. Raiders right now, interim coach Antonio Pierce. Hopefully Mark Davis doesn't make the mistake he made before, where Rick Bisaccia was the interim coach. He did incredible, took him to the playoffs, almost won a playoff game, and he didn't get the job. I think if the Raiders had any sense, they would make Antonio Pierce their full-time head coach. But let's operate off the assumption that they are not. It's going to be an opening between them and the Bears. Where do you lean?
Yeah, they'll probably interview for that position, but I still think I really like, side note here, how Antonio Pierce is coaching this team and what he's doing with the Raiders right now. And I just like him as a head coach.
He's earned the job, in my opinion.
He really has. But as far as what team I would take to be a head coach at right now, I like operating with a really good mobile quarterback. And Justin Fields has proven, I think this year, when he's been healthy, he had that thumb injury. That was just that happens to quarterbacks. So it's not that he was necessarily injury prone. Those thumb injuries just happen.
Right.
He's playing really good football right now. He's running really good. Him and DJ Moore are connecting a lot better downfield now. And this team seems to be operating a lot better under, poor leadership even. And so I think coming in as a head coach, taking this team where nobody's expecting too much out of you and being able to flip that organization on its head and potentially make a playoff run, it's not out of the question. I mean, you do have, it looks like that Chicago has accepted Justin Fields as their guy now, talking about the fan base. And so I think that, the fans, if you get a good head coach in there, the Bears fans are unlike any others, man. They will hang you to a cross, or they'll carry you all down the street when you had a flat tire.
The good thing is it's not like the Bears expect any type of success because they haven't had any in 60 years. So, granted, neither have the Raiders. I agree. I think I would lean the Bears here, but
you also got a really pretty stadium in Las Vegas.
Maybe, the stadium is fantastic. I'm leaning the Bears, but for a slightly different reason than you. Not because of Justin Fields, because I can send him packing. Because that's the first thing I would do if I took over as GM.
Oh my,
Justin
you're insane.
Fields, pack the bags, get the fuck out. We'll get somebody else. We got
you
so
are
many
insane.
picks.
All these Bear fans are about to light up the comment section. Please tell Tristan how wrong he is.
He sucks. He's terrible.
He doesn't.
That primetime game last week.
I can show you the stats.
Awful. Well, I can look at the stats too. What was that game they played?
Well, obviously you need some glasses.
Did you watch the Chicago-Minnesota game 2 weeks ago? Because I tried, and I wanted glass. I wanted glass to shove into my eyeballs because it was so bad. He tried to lose that game 6 ways from Sunday. You have so many picks here. You're going to have the number 1 overall pick because you've got Carolina. You've got another high pick. You can go get Caleb Williams and probably Marvin Harrison Jr. You can start over, and you can also ship Justin Fields off to somebody and get capital for him. Here's the problem. Even if you think Justin Fields is a good quarterback, which I don't, can he be a quarterback for a franchise? Sure. But it's soured in Chicago. It's over. It's done. He can't throw the ball. He can go learn to do that somewhere else. I can get capital for him and start fresh because the rookie contract period is over, Ryan. And we know in the NFL, you have to capitalize when you're not paying the quarterback. You're telling me if I stick with Justin Fields, I'm going to have to give him a second contract, at least a 1 or 2 year deal. And then if it doesn't work out, I've wasted my opportunity with this really talented quarterback class where I could go get Williams or Drake May. No way. Fields is gone. I'm starting fresh with one of those rookies and with a good wide receiver. Different reasons, but we agree the Bears is the better job here. The Buffalo Bills versus the Chicago Bears. I don't think it's going to be much of a competition here. There's no way you would pass up on Josh Allen. Is there anything else that needs to be said about this one?
I just think Justin Fields is so much better of a quarterback than Josh Allen.
Seems that way.
God, no. I mean, I would die to be the Bills head coach right now. I mean, I would suck so bad.
Oh, yeah. You'd be gone in 3 weeks.
They called me. Look, I would do it for the cheapest anybody's ever done a head coaching job. I'd do it for $1 million. I'm your guy.
Line me up. All right, so we'll just move on from this one. Obviously, the Bills would be it. Commanders, Chargers. I think we also agree with this one. It's easy. Chargers because of the quarterback. So let's go straight to the finale. Bills versus Chargers. If you had your pick, is it that simple? Is it Buffalo and Josh Allen?
I told you before the show started, because now when you get down to this Super Bowl matchup between the Bills and the Chargers head coach, you got to look at many other things besides just talent now. Up until this point, talent could get you by. And you could say, hey, I would rather be the head coach here because the talent just way outweighs the roster or the division and, your competition, things like that. Well, now it's a little bit different. So let's just take a small little break and let's just look into what type of division you would be in.
So we've got the AFC East versus the AFC West.
So you got the Buffalo Bills, the Miami Dolphins, the New York Jets, and the New England Patriots.
Okay.
And then for the Chargers, you got the Chargers, the Broncos, the Chiefs, and the Raiders. And so you look at both of these divisions and you got a couple of hard hitters, but you got to think about the future, right? So you can't just think about the now. You got to think about where these teams going to be in the future. So let's take the AFC East, for instance. You got Buffalo. Obviously, it's probably the second best team in the division right now because Miami looks like it's a lot better than Buffalo right now.
Mike McDaniel isn't going anywhere, right?
And so you got to think, do you want to coach up against Mike McDaniel for the next 5 years?
But the Patriots are a disaster. So
the Patriots are a disaster, and then the Jets maybe have Aaron Rodgers for next year, but after that, they're
back to the Jets, yeah.
Yeah, but they still got a really good defense. That defense isn't going anywhere. It's young, and it's good. You got Gardner, you got Quentin Williams. Let's move over to AFC West. You got Sean Payton with Russell Wilson. Well,
looking good.
That duo, it looks great now, but they're both older guys, too. So they're going to be out the door probably within the next 3 to 5 years.
Russell Wilson probably be gone in a year or two. Yeah, Sean Payton's there to stay.
Yeah, but for how long? We just don't know how long he's going to coach. He's already retired once. Who knows? And then, obviously, you got the stud in the room, the Kansas City Chiefs. They're obviously going to be in competition as long as Patrick Mahomes plays football. And he's going to forever be a
brother to the Kansas City Chiefs in that division.
100%. But you may catch the Chiefs right now at a semi-rebuild.
Right. They are entering phase 2 of the Mahomes era. So
yes. So this is the, if you think about back to Brady,
it's that 10-year period where he didn't win a Super Bowl is what it is.
Right.
I mean, now I'm not saying the Chiefs are going to do that, but you had that first phase of the dynasty where you've got all these studs and you make your run. And then you got to pay the quarterback. All your great players like Travis Kelce age out and you have to rebuild them and bring them in with cheaper, younger options. And you have to try to win a different way. That is the era of the Chiefs in. So if you're going to get them, now's the time. So this matchup is not as cut and dry as you would think.
No. So, while you may be the Chiefs' little brother, I think you can still be the top dog in that division in the next 3 to 5 years. Mm-hmm. And this is what I'm thinking as far as a head coach goes. I'm thinking the next 3 to 5 years. I don't think any sooner than that, and I don't want to think anything past that because I think if you're a head coach and you don't come into an organization like the Bills or the Chargers and get a Super Bowl, at least make a run at the Super Bowl in the first 3 to 5 years, you're out of there.
Yeah, you've got to be a playoff contender. So, can I cut you off for 1 second?
You can.
I want to just go to the Bills, and while the quarterback obviously is the X factor, it's the big shining knight in the room that's drawing you there. It's like, I'm like Cillian Murphy and Oppenheimer looking through the glass. Oh, look, it's Josh Allen. Okay, but think about the roster. That roster needs a big overhaul. You've got a ton of old guys on big contracts, and offensively, you've got Diggs, who is kind of a diva. He is a diva. It seems like he might be wanting his way out. If you go into Buffalo, you're probably going to have to move on from Diggs. So while you do have Josh Allen, you're going to have to rebuild the entire offensive weaponry. You're going to have to rebuild the secondary. That roster in Buffalo is entering a full rebuild minus the quarterback. So I think that's something you have to take into account here as well, because the Chargers probably have some better, younger pieces compared to the Bills.
Yeah, you make a good point there. But the Bills also, they have money they can spend.
Right.
And so that helps, right?
And we know they want to win Super Bowls. They're going to put their money where their mouth is.
Now, we also didn't mention the Raiders in the AFC West, and you got to think about if Antonio Pierce maintains that position, like how good is he going to have this Raiders team?
Fair, yeah.
I don't think he'll ever have it to Super Bowl level, personally. I just don't know that. I don't know that much about Antonio Pierce. I don't know if he's like Mike McDaniel in his first year. I'm like, okay, dude's going to win a Super Bowl in the next 5 years.
Yeah.
Like, we know Mike McDaniel is a fantastic head coach.
Sure.
There's no doubting it. And he brings a whole new rejuvenated style of offense into this NFL right now. I still believe that I would take the Buffalo Bills job because I'm less afraid of Mike McDaniel right now than I am Andy Reid. And I think those are the two teams you really got to watch out for is Miami in the East and then the Chiefs in the West. Now, you can argue that the Chiefs are in that lull period where they have to rebuild.
Still Patrick Mahomes.
Still Andy Reid. And it's just that thorn in your side that's always going to piss you off.
Yeah, and
because
it's the ownership. It's the ownership. You know they're going to be well run. You know Brett Veach is one of the best GMs. The Kansas City Chiefs, even before Mahomes, they were a well-run organization.
I'll throw this out there. Okay, this is a valid point. Even with McDermott as the head coach, the Bills have owned Miami for years.
Josh Allen is their daddy.
I like that. I like those odds. So, yeah, I'm still taking the Bills. Again, this is a non-biased reaction. Not just because I'm a Bills fan, but I really think that you have a better chance of winning a Super Bowl in the next 3 to 5 years with the Bills, with a new head coach and revamping the defense and adding some more pieces for Josh Allen to throw to, rather than taking over the Chargers right now and still going up against Kansas City and the potential run from Sean Payton with the Broncos that I think, the Broncos could wind up in the Super Bowl. Tristan, they could wind up there this year. It'll be a hard road, but they could.
Right.
And they're playing really good ball right now. But give them until next year, they could easily make the Super Bowl next year, or at least the playoffs.
Imagine what they look like after Russell Wilson if they get a quarterback in there that's young and talented, what Sean Payton's going to do with them. I think you look at this matchup and you just assume it's easy Bills, Josh Allen. I agree. I'm going with the Bills, but it's not as easy as you think because the Bills is almost a tougher job because I have to do such a big roster overhaul, whereas the Chargers, I don't have to do as much work, but I'm not going to have as many resources. So it's like, do you want to go with the team in a tougher division where I don't have to do as much work, but I don't have as many resources, or do I want to go with the Bills, an easier division, a better quarterback? Yeah, I got to do more work, but I have more resources. I have more backing. The ownership, the GM, whoever's there is going to give me whatever I need to make Josh Allen successful. Without a doubt, if these are the job openings, the Buffalo Bills, who are the 1 seed in our bracket, that is the team you want to go to because Josh Allen is the X factor. And when you have him, he is a scary, scary quarterback, and you can win any matchup you face. You're not worried about 2 teams in your division. Your quarterback already proves he owns Miami. Yes, there's work to be done, but the future looks bright with Josh Allen, and it's the path. Also, I think the path of least resistance. I agree. Give me Buffalo here.